Herkese iyi akşamlar.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting us here. I would like to thank moderators and organizers for their great support. Sleep is a very crucial phenomenon. Sometimes it can be a disorder. Both for parents and children, and sleep-related predictors are among the diagnostic criteria for some of the disorders. But sleep has been ignored for many years, and I would like to emphasize the importance of the sleep. And Congress Organization Committee thought the same thing. They thought sleep was important, and they led us to make a presentation about sleep. So you can see sleep includes two stages, non-REM and REM. In the NREM, you can see 4 stages. When you look at EEG and EMG, these are very good determiners for sleep. These two are great biomarkers for sleep. In the first stage of sleep, on the EEG, as you can see on the slide, there is frequency, but amplitude is low. And alpha waves are dominant. As soon as they disappear, stage 2 comes. And K items and also RA delta activity become priority on the sleep. And when the non-REM finishes, we see wakeness. Frequency is common, but amplitude is very low, so it is very similar to wakeness. It has REM and non-REM stages. When you sleep daily or nightly, you have this cycle, and each cycle may have 90 minutes or 60 minutes duration. As you can see, long period of wakeness and long time of sleepiness. These two follow each other. Okay, the wake promoting pathways. In order to talk about this, we need to understand what is wakeness, what is being awake. But before this, we need to define the pathways which promote wakeness. Ascendant reticular system support the wakeness. Here you can see there is a dorsal pathway and ventral pathway. Dorsal pathway starts from thalamus and goes to cortex, and ventral pathway innerves the cortex without passing thalamus. Okay, what are the wake promoting networks? You can see 5 networks: monoamines, basal forebrain, pedunculopontine and laterodorsal tegmental nuclei, orexins, lateral hypothalamus and posterior hypothalamus. When you look at monoaminergic system, it is light green here. Mucocellulose, dorsal and medial raphe and ventral tegmental area. It is thalamus, hypothalamus, basal forebrain, and it innerves the cortex as a warning system. Tuberomammary nucleus. You can see here it can innerve the thalamus and cortex. It is included in the system. When we come to basal forebrain, thalamus and cortex are directly innerved. Basal forebrain is a very interesting place. Sometimes it is cholinergic, sometimes glutaminergic. Both on the REM stage and the vagueness stage, basal forebrain is active. Vagueness is generally promoted by cholinergic fibers, and GABA is released during vagueness. Inhibitor interneurons are inhibited, and these are the promoters of vagueness. Another system, pedunculopontine and laterodorsal nuclei. It is very similar to basal forebrain. It is cholinergic, as you can see here. Basal forebrain, as I mentioned, it is similar to this nuclein, but this part innerves thalamus. Endpoints of the nerves, nerve ends actually end literally there. When we come to parabrachial nucleus, it directly innerves basal forebrain, and glutaminergic neurons take active part here. Orexins are very important. Lateral hypothalamus and posterior hypothalamus are their place. Vagueness is promoted by these pathways: locus ceruleus, ventral tegmental area, thalamus, hypothalamus, basal forebrain, and cortex are innerved by these orexins. In order to make it simpler, I put the scheme to glutaminergic matter, basal forebrain, locus, and other parts are innerved. Orexin 1 and orexin 2 inhibitors are available at this part. Orexin neuropeptides are especially important for maintaining long periods of wake. When these neurons are damaged, narcolepsy occurs. When these people are awake, all of a sudden, they just switch into non-REM mode. I'm sure you have seen many people like this. Examples, you can see orexin innerves these parts. Almost all pathways are innerved thanks to orexin inhibitors. Normally, orexin increases in order to enhance awakeness. It decreases when we sleep. When they are damaged, you can see sufficient sleep cannot be maintained. When they are awake, all of a sudden they just fall asleep. It's like this on a daily basis. 4 or 5 episodes can be seen, observed. As I mentioned, EEG and EMG are two biomarkers for sleep, and sleep is separated into two, non-REM and REM. What pushes us to non-REM? Somnogens, these are released, secreted on the brain, and they warn some innerving neurons. Adenosine, which is the most popular molecule, and then interleukin 1, TNF-alpha and interleukin-1. What are these? They are generally effective when we are inflamed or have fever, if we are more inclined to sleep. So these are the responsible matters. And on caffeine, adenosine is being higher, and the adenosine antagonists on this NREM sleep, preoptic area is very important. Basal forebrain in the vagueness part I mentioned as well. Parafacial zone, this is something new for us. Cortical sleep active neurons are also important for the sleep, non-REM. So this shows preoptic area located on the anterior hypothalamus, ventrolateral and medial parts are available. As you can see, all monoaminergic stimuli supporter systems are inhibited. Other wake promoters, pedunculocantin and tegmental nuclei are also inhibited. As you can see, when you sleep, it is the most important area, ventrolateral and other nuclei. GABAergic and GABAlin is the form in which they are inhibited. And I'm showing it to you to make it easier for you. I can support wakeness, and it inhibits the wake position. Ventral lateral preoptic lesions. What do they cause? As you can see, it decreases sleep, especially non-REM is decreased because of these antagonists. These systems are in interaction with each other. Sleep promoters and wake promoters are in interaction with each other. In order to eliminate misunderstandings or any confusion, I wanted to put the scheme. Monoaminergic system is exudate, and these are ventrolateral and ventromedial preoptic region. It at the end promotes wakeness. When you sleep, what happens? Ventrolateral preoptic and medial area inhibits orexins, and also monoaminergic pathways are inhibited. At the end, we fall asleep. As you can see, they are in interaction with each other. So these are the pathways promoting wakeness, and they promote sleepness, and sleep promoters interact and inhibit the wakeness promoters. Basal forebrain, as I've already stated, for the wakeness state, is a cholinergic system, but at the same time, it is a GABAergic system, and it inhibits the cortex. On the wakeness, it is cholinergic. On the non-REM, it is GABAergic. Parafacial zone, it is a small zone. On this zone, parabrachial nuclei inhibited. On the wakeness part, I have already mentioned that. At the same time, inside the cortex itself, there is a system which provides sleepiness. It is NNOS. It makes us more sleepy. It is, to sum it up, to make it more clear, flip-flop and bistability. They are inhibiting each other. Red shows sleepiness, other one shows wakeness. This is a general scheme. On the non-REM, anterior hypothalamus, ventrolateral and median preoptic nuclei is the main responsible area, and basal forebrain GABAergic neurons, parafacial zone, and cortex system within itself. When we come to REM, we know it is very crucial to us because REM is the part that we see very vivid dreams, and the muscular atonia takes place. It is the most important thing. Unless it happens, most of us would be sleeping during these vivid dreams, or would be moving during these dreams, or walking during these dreams. And this is the most important area for REM. sculopontine and laterodorsal tegmental nuclei, glutamatergic and GABAergic. It excites the related matters. It warns the neurons, and muscular atonia occurs as a result of that warning stimuli, or lateral medulla is excited, and thanks to GABAergic neurons, it inhibits spinal motor nerves. Your last 5 minutes, by the way. Thank you. Okay, certain pathways on the sleep, certain pathways on the wake. We know they are active. You may ask this question during wakeness, why there is no REM? Maybe you can ask that. Most appropriate reason for it, on the wakeness, locus coeruleus and dorsal part secrete adrenaline, and it inhibits that pathway. Because it is inhibited during wakeness, there is no REM of that stage. You can see a very general scheme for REM. This chart is to eliminate your confusion. It is a summary. Acetylcholine is activated during wakefulness and sleepiness. Monoamines activated on the wakefulness. It's orexins, you can see they're only active on wakefulness. On the non-REM and REM, lateral dorsal origins are activated. This is all. Thank you very much.